What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your review of Love After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 12. So this is the last week that we're going to be revisiting these couples. And next week, we're going to go back to the new couples that we met before. So yeah, we're going to get back. So this is the last week of this. So I guess they're going to try to wrap all of this up and give us a nice little bun for most of the couples. Well, no, I ain't even going to say most of the couples. Anyway. We have Lamar and Andrea. So Lamar and Andrea, we're getting ready for Priscilla's baptism. So they done went and bought them a little pool, and they're gonna blow the pool up, and that's where they're gonna have the baptism. Remember, her son is able to do the baptism. What's the boy name anyway? Tinslin something. He's able to do the baptism because I guess he has his priesthood under the Mormon church. And they're blowing up a pool because, of course, it's COVID and all of that. So it has to be very limited. And they are putting this pool together. And it looks like it's not a, like it's a pool that actually has like an air pump on it. Like it's not like a little old, little rinky-dink pool that used to have. And it was a nice little, decent little pool. And, honey, they blowing this pool up. And Lamar goes in the house to use the bathroom. And then the boy walks away. For whatever reason, he walking away. Next thing you know, the pool flies up, knocks over the camera, everything. So by the time they come back outside, the pool has got a hole in it. It is deflated and everything. And he lets Andrea know what happened. And of course, she goes off. And she immediately feels like you did this on purpose because you really don't want her to get baptized. Now, a lot of times Andrea is ridiculous. And I think she's a little over the top. But in this situation, I can see how she might come to that conclusion. Because it's the day of the baptism. How you can't blow up a pool? You know what I'm saying? And she tells him, she said, listen, if this doesn't happen, I'm going back to Utah. Because what that says to me is that you have proven that this isn't important to you. That our daughter's salvation isn't important to you. And so, again, do I think that he well, I know he did. We saw it happen. But I see kind of where she's coming from. Although I don't know. So, of course, he was like, nah, I got to get this together. I got to fix it. So, he duct tapes the whole thing, puts some tape over the hole. He blows the pool up, boom. So, they're getting ready. And she said that for Priscilla's baptismal gown, her little dress, she said she even went and bought some kente cloth to add to her dress so that Lamar will understand that she can still have a piece of her culture with her, even though she's going through the baptism. And, of course, when we think of Mormon, we don't always think of black. And I thought that was a very conscious decision of her to do, And, Lamar is still feeling some kind of way because he was like, listen, we got barbed wire and everything. Like, this is just not the most ideal place. Like, this is just not what I envision for my daughter as a baptism. And I still ain't really with the Mormon church. Like, I'm still not really with it. I really am doing this to make her happy. And so he was like, and I don't want her to go back to Utah. Like, so everything is going nice. They have her, I guess it's the minister from her church. It's a white guy there. Now I feel like the minister kind of was irritating me a little bit. Cause like when he got up to say his little speech, I felt like he tried to throw a little slang in there. And I was like, you ain't got to do all that. Just talk, bruh. He's like, yeah, because, Lamar really ain't down with this. What that mean? What you trying to say? Then, Andrea has her friends from Utah. She got them on the laptops and everything. And she was FaceTiming with them. And she found out that Dolo was there, right? Now, Dolo was the uncle that offered her son weed the week before. Honey, she just as nicely said, I need to go uninvite and whatever she said, because he is unwanted and uninvited is what she was saying. She said, and I need to go let him know that he needs to leave. She goes out there to talk to him, and she's trying to explain to him. And again, I gotta give her credit. She ain't act real. I mean, she got a little loud, but her points were valid. I think her points were very valid. Like, listen, You know how we are. You know how I'm trying to raise my children. You know, I'm very much into the church, and I'm just not cool with that. Like, why would you offer my son weed? And he was like, man, I wasn't really going to give him no weed. I just was trying to test him. I was just trying to test him. No, you weren't. If that boy had took that blunt out your hand, you wouldn't have stopped him. First of all, ain't nobody asked you to test my child. How about that? I don't need you testing him. If you want to talk to him about not doing drugs, how about you not do drugs in front of my child? How about that? Whether we know how high you are or how high you get, how about you just not get high in front of my child? Like, listen, y'all know I don't side with her a whole lot, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And in this one, I was with her 100%. Like, don't do that. You know? And then she they were in the middle of arguing and going back and forth. And then she stopped in the middle of the argument. And she said, you know what I realized? I realized he was high in that moment. At the moment I'm trying to talk to him about getting high, he was high. It wasn't no need to even continue in this conversation. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and move on with my day because my daughter's getting baptized. Like, it is what it is. You can say if you want to, child. I'm not even going to entertain this no more. And I thought that was very adult of Andrea because I just knew she was about to pick him up and physically throw him off of her property like, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air style, right? I really thought that was about to go down. But she let him stay, and the son actually went to go talk to Lamar because Lamar still, up until the last minute, hadn't decided whether he was going to come out or not, right? And the son went to go talk to him, and the son was like, listen, I get it. I understand, you know, your reservation. Like, I do. I respect it, and I understand it. He said, but I really think it's important for you to really be a part of this. And I really would want you to come and be a part of it. And, you know, he's like, this is something we're doing as a family. And even though, you know, you being there doesn't mean that you're going to become Mormon but it is something that's very important for our family. And Lamar ended up coming, and he sat there, and he, you know, he said his daughter looked really pretty, and it was really nice, you know, to see it go down. He said, and it was nice that, you know, his family was there to witness it, and then Andrea had like phones and laptops set up so her friends in Utah could see it. I thought it was really nice. Like, unconventional, sure. But I definitely understood if it was weighing on her heart and something was telling her, listen, with everything that we've been going through these last 6 months as a world, much less a country, much less a community, much less a family, I can understand her saying, listen, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I want my daughter to be saved. And this is what my church says has to happen for my daughter to be protected under God. So I ain't mad at her. I'm not mad at her for wanting this and for making it happen, as unconventional as it may have been. If it was going to put her at ease with everything we have going on in our world, people dying, family members dying, like people out of work, people, listen, Andrea done pissed me off a lot, but this one I was with her. So I 100% felt like, so that's the couple that I feel like we sort of got a happy ending on, right? We got a happy ending with them. Lord knows what's going on with them now, child. She might be back in Utah by now, who knows? But that was happy. That was a great thing to see. Now, Brittany and Marcelino. We left off with Brittany's mom really on this binge. She finally admits that she did go get the drugs. She said, listen, she was just in so much pain. She said, if I could stop the painkillers, don't you think I would? Like, and Brittany's thing was, as a former addict, I get it. I don't judge my mother because she's an addict. And when I was out there on them streets, I would do anything to get high. And I did. And I understood. And I had to get to a point, I had to get to my rock bottom and get to a point where I understood that if I didn't make a decision now, that I would die on those streets. And she said, my mom has to hit rock bottom. So she took her sister. She told her mother, we're leaving. She said, whatever happens is whatever happens. You get put out, you get evicted. It is what it is. I'm sending her back to Alaska with the family, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And of course, then the mother was like, so you just going to leave me here? You going to leave me with $1,000 a month rent? You going to leave me? She was like, you did that to yourself. Like, y'all was good. But you can't control your addiction. So I'm not going to allow my sister to fall into this hole with you. So then later on in the episode, we see her talking to her sister, and her sister was like, you know, I think going back to Alaska is a good thing for me right now. And because Brittany was like, you can't go back, right? Like, mom has got to hit her rock bottom. Like, you can't go save her. Because if you go and you save her, she's never going to get there. We've tried to do all of this. We've tried to help her and take her to meetings and support her we've tried all of that, and none of that is working. And the sister was like, yes, I get it. Like, I know I can't, go back. She said, but I don't want an eviction on my credit. Like, I don't want that on my credit. And Brittany was like, I get it. She said, I'm walking around with 4 felonies. I get what you're talking about. I understand it. She said, but rather have an eviction on your credit than deal with all of the fallout of what you would have to do taking care of your mom. Like, I get that, and I understand where you're coming from. She said, but this is what you got. You can't go back. Like, you can't go back. So then later on in the episode, we see that the backyard is finished, and it looks really nice. And the kids are running around. They're able to get out the house and get some fresh air and run around. And they're sitting around really enjoying it. And, she was like, you know what? This is great. Like, to be able to see my kids running around and enjoy their backyard, like, this is great. Like, I'm glad that we got to this. I'm glad we got to this point. And Brittany was talking to Marcelino, and she said, I really don't know what's going to happen with my mom because, because of the COVID, they can't put her out. So she's not getting evicted, which means that she's sitting in the house, and now she don't even have to worry about paying rent. And so, she's still worried about her mom. And Marcelino was like, listen, been there and done that. Like, I have dealt with my mom's drug addiction, and I know what it is. And so Brittany is just going through what I've already been through, and I can't, it's her mother. Like, I can't tell her what to do or what not to do, but I also know that it doesn't get any better. Like, this, unfortunately, is what it is until her mother decides to make it go. We sort of left them in a good place couple-wise, but a bad place with her mom's situation. And all you can do is pray on that. Because, again, addiction is a terrible thing. Like, addiction is a horrible, horrible thing to deal with. All right. So then we have Tony and Angie. Child, listen. Tony is in his feelings now because Tony is like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me rewind. Tony, well, he's in his feelings because he wants to get back with Angela. So he goes to visit Tommy. Now, listen. You know good and damn well that Tommy wants to be with Angela, and that Tommy is in no way, shape, or form going to help you get back with Angela. So what does Tommy do? Tommy creates a situation and makes it worse, hoping that it builds a bigger strife between y'all. Tommy sits there and tells Tony, first of all, they almost get into a damn argument, which was ridiculous. But Tony sits there and tells Tony everything about Ross. He says, well, Angela's been talking to somebody. Angela's already, she got a video date tonight. And Tony was like, she got a what? He said, yeah, she got some dude, some dude she done met. Well, matter of fact, she knew him before she knew you. Matter of fact, she been in touch with him the whole time y'all been together. And y'all not really married, right? Because she never filed the paperwork. So, bruh, I don't know what you gonna do, but, like, you can't make Angie happy. I know you can't make Angie happy. And Angie has moved on. Leave her alone. Honey, Tony was in his feelings. He said, we are not in an open marriage. I don't know what Angie's doing. And I'm thinking the same thing you would do. Like, her date was a virtual date. You was straight up sleeping with other women. Like, what is wrong? Sorry. What are you talking about? So he goes running over there in his car, honey, burning up the road. He gets there, he banging on the door, telling her to open up the door, and they get to arguing. And he telling some, who is this Ross guy? What are you doing with this Ross guy? And this is our marriage, and I love you, and this. And she was like, well, Tony, whose show do you think I was crying on every time you upset me, every time you disappointed me, every time you cheated on me? Ross loves me. I said, so I guess we sort of left them wherever we left them, child. I don't know where we left them, but that's where we left them because they crazy. All right. So, okay, so let's talk about Lacey and Shane. So, okay, so Lacey's pregnant, okay? They planted 2 embryos in Lacey. But something happened that the doctor says is a very rare occurrence. Because they planted the 2 embryos, even though the doctor recommended that they only plant the 1, but they planted the 2 because the doctor said, because she said we can't afford to do this twice. So we're going to plant both of them. And, one of them stick and we good to go. So they said maybe we'll end up with 2 kids. At the most 2 kids, honey. One of them damn embryos done split. They have a set of twins and another baby. Now, unfortunately, with in vitro, this is very early. And probably if we were not filming a television show, they wouldn't even be talking about it, because most people who go through in vitro really keep it quiet until at least the second, until they're out of the first trimester, because so much can go wrong. And the doctor did tell them that. The doctor said, listen, it's very early. Things can happen. You have 3 embryos right now, but that doesn't mean that you're going to end up with 3 babies. Plan for it. But be prepared for that to not happen. And so immediately, Shane is furloughed because of the COVID. Now, I don't know what, Lindsay does for a living. Y'all have told me in my comments some things. But whatever the situation is, she can't do them. Which I guess she can't. Anyway. So they leave the doctor's office and they go see her father. And Lindsay don't want them to tell the daddy yet. But, Shane is like, well, I ain't gonna lie to your dad. And she was like, you don't have to lie. You just ain't gotta tell the whole truth. Like, you could tell him we pregnant. You don't have to tell him it's 3 babies yet. And I agree with, Lindsay on that one. Because 1, you don't know if you're gonna end up with 3 babies. And 2, like, you don't need to put your daddy in shock just yet. Like, you don't need to put him in shock yet, because we know who be taking care of them babies a lot, But what does Shane do? They get over to the daddy's house, and Shane immediately starts talking about the 3 babies. And the daddy is like, what? So you going to go from 3 kids to 6 kids, and Shane don't even have a job? And he was like, Lindsay always finds a way, to pay her bills and everything, but Shane don't even have a job right now. So, y'all, that's kind of where we left Shane and Lindsay. And again, it's a good place because, life is a great thing. But I'm not sure, again, fast forward where we are now with the pregnancy. And I don't, a lot of shows that I review, I do follow people. But for some reason, I don't follow anybody from Life After Lockup. Probably because I ain't looked to find none of them. But I don't follow any of them. So I don't know what any of them are doing, like, outside of what I see on the show. Which sometimes I think is a good thing. So last but not least, child, we have the dysfunctional Sarah and Michael. Listen, I'm so sick of Michael's ignorant, self-indulgent, entitled ass. Do you hear me? Michael gets to the party. Sarah tells him that the boyfriend is inside, and Michael is of course, he's immediately pissed off and in his feelings. He goes into the party. He bringing in gifts. He talks to his oldest daughter because, of course, she knows who the hell he is. Tells her, I'm going to come and spend some time with you later. Daddy's going to come see you later. He go to pick up the 1-year-old. The 1-year-old is crying. Why is the 1-year-old crying? Because she don't know who the hell he is. Why? Because Michael ain't never been around. Michael ain't never been a part of her life. So she's like, who is this strange-ass dude picking me up? I don't know him. Okay? So Michael ends up giving the baby back to somebody who, the baby actually knows. And then he leaves. So Sarah goes out into the parking lot, and she was like, what is wrong with you? He was like, see, I'm not doing this with you. This is supposed to be about my daughter. My only reason for being here is about my daughter. You made it about him. No. You made it about him. Because he ain't bothered you. He didn't say anything to you. He didn't make an issue with you. You could have sat there and enjoyed the party the whole time. And I bet you that dude probably wouldn't have said more than 2 words to you. Because I feel like he's a little scared of Michael. But neither here nor there. He wouldn't have said nothing to you. He wouldn't have bothered you at all. And for you to say that she made it all about him, no, she really didn't. What she wanted to, I felt like she was being respectful by letting you know he was there. She don't owe you shit for a lot of reasons. She don't owe you shit because you ain't there. You're not even a part of the family enough, excuse me, for your opinion to matter. And you don't seem to have a problem bringing whoever you're dating around the kids. Whenever you got a new sugar mama, you don't seem to have a problem bringing her around whenever, however, and whoever you feel like it. So why should she be concerned about your feelings and concerned about how you feel about some dude being around? Like, at the end of the day, you know, I don't feel like Sarah did anything wrong. And she even tried to create a situation where y'all could meet beforehand so it wouldn't be no problem. But if it's all about your daughter, then you wouldn't have left the party. You left the party because your ass was embarrassed. You was embarrassed because you was in a room full of people who know you ain't shit. You was embarrassed because your own kids don't even halfway know you. You was embarrassed because there was some dude there who had more of a relationship with your kids than you did. That wasn't about Sarah, and that was definitely not about that man. That was about you and your ignorant ass. Then you gonna leave, call up one of your friends who you say you respect his opinion, and you listen. He'll give you the honest answer no matter what you're saying. And I feel like he wasn't as straight up with you as he should have been. But he tried to tell you in a nice way, like, dude, you doing too much. Like, because first of all, you was only telling him part of the story. You was only telling him part of the story because you made it seem like you didn't bring your new girlfriend, Maria. You made it seem like you didn't bring her out of respect. No, you didn't bring her because you ain't messing with her no more. Because if you and her was still on good terms and still in a good place, she'd be right there with you. Just like she was with you the last time sitting at the damn hotel while you was sleeping with Sarah. So listen. So then he talking about something. I'm coming no matter what. I'm coming no matter what. I'm coming no matter what. And his friend told him, I don't really think that's the best idea. I think you need to call Sarah and y'all need to talk before you just show up. So he does call Sarah, and Sarah says, listen, it's been a long day. Because he wants to come the night of the party. And Sarah says, listen, it's been a long day. All of us are tired. My boyfriend is still here. I already know you got an issue with that. So, you know, basically she was like, come tomorrow. I'm coming to see my daughter. I don't care if he's there. I don't care about that dude being there. I'm coming to see my daughter. I'm coming to see my daughter. You can't stop me from seeing my daughter. I'm coming to see my daughter. Then the boyfriend says to Sarah, listen, I understand that it's a whole situation or whatever, but at the end of the day, I feel like that relationship ain't over. And the reality of the situation is he ain't wrong and he ain't lying. Because the two of them, I don't think Michael and Sarah going to ever be done dealing with each other. They're just two dysfunctional people that like being dysfunctional and in their dysfunction. And the sad thing is that the kids are the ones that are suffering through that whole situation. And the sad thing is that Michael really thinks he's a good dad. Like, he really thinks he's busting it out the park. She said that she only seen that Michael's only been there 4 times in 1 year. I don't know what kind of daddy you think you are, but like I said, they like dealing in their dysfunction. So, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to see with them, child. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.